Eventually.
Tonight, the bell rings and the stories begin. Welcome to the ride.
Man, I tell you, that gets me every single time. It's like got to be one of the greatest podcast entrants of all time. Close second is airplay mode. Just want to let y'all know that. But either way, got me jacked up. I'm pumped. I'm not blown up, but I'm pumped. Welcome to Saturday Night Junkies, Sideline Junkies, Saturday Night Wrestling. It got me all discombobulated. I love that theme song. Sideline Junkies, Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs, Saturday number 2, 2026. Big guy KG somewhere. I think he's out there fixing his microwave. From what he said, he may be back, but the microwave is having some issues. So he has to go in there and do something to the protons and neutrons to make sure that his hot pockets come out hot. You got the Nubian Sumo smoking up, lighting up for the second Saturday in 2026, representing his Bullet Club t-shirt. And I am the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. Perfectly sober, I guess, but you may argue that by the time we get to the end of the show. But either way, welcome everybody once again to what we do best, trying to figure out what that is. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about some wrestling, and sports entertainment. Sumo, what's up?
Nothing too much. Just waiting for the snow over here in Sumo Land.
Is it going to be a lot? I don't think it. I mean,
it's just about. They're talking about
Dustin, right?
They're talking about about no more than an inch, but still,
yeah. I'd say for y'all, that's just like whatever. And by y'all, we talking about up there in that DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, a little bit of North Kakalaki up in there. Down to Asheville is slated. Even a nice little place called Greenville, South Carolina. They trying to hype it up like it's going to be something, but either way, it's the 17th of January. I think we're about due for a little wintry mix, and then it can go ahead and move on because I'm tired of it. Speaking of January, Sumo, you are the perfect person to talk to us about some good news, some interesting news, and a historical first. What? I'm trying to segue it. Now you want a spot? Hey, you make it. See, that's why I'm glad you muted. You over there making a dig on the Ravens not getting the playoffs because of the daggone field goal. That's messed up. I just want to let you know. That's messed up, bro.
Damn. I'm just here, man.
Well, yeah, but you over there doing that. We know he ain't make the daggone field goal. God damn, it's fucked up.
What happened?
He missed the field goal, cuz.
Who missed what?
Well, it wasn't Justin Tucker. I can tell you that much. We'd have been in the playoffs at this point. God dang, 0 win.
I've been binge watching a show on Prime on Amazon Prime all day, so I haven't been watching any football.
What'd you watch?
It's a show called Goliath.
What's that? I haven't heard of it.
Billy Bob Thornton.
We're not getting paid for it, but Billy Bob was in.
Billy Bob Thornton is a lawyer who used to be with this big firm, but now he's out on his own doing his thing, and kind of like the Lincoln Law, like the precursor to the Lincoln Lawyer. If you know what that is on Netflix, so kind of on that same vein, but this was made back in 2016.
Okay. Well, if you're watching some good Prime stuff, I'll go ahead and put a plug out for my favorite Prime show, which is Upload. I don't know if you've seen that yet. I think it's up to 4 seasons. I haven't watched the last season because I'm not ready to see the ending. But it stars Andy Allo and Josh Amell, Stephen Amell's brother, the Green Arrow. Great show, great story. So watch that. And then if you want to jump on Netflix, just because Netflix screwed this over, we do deserve a 3rd season. If you have not watched Altered Carbon on Netflix, you need to go back and watch that. If you like some sci-fi stuff, man, those 2 seasons, one of them stars Anthony Mackie. Phenomenal shows that folks may not realize existed out there in TV land.
And to bring it back to wrestling, if y'all are interested in in Star Trek, the new Star Trek Academy has started. Its premiere episode is on Paramount Plus, and Becky Lynch is a part of that show as part of the command team on that show. So
her Saturday night main event outfit during John Cena's retirement match was dedicated to her role in that show. So
which actually it did. I mean, she was wearing a yellow uniform with that stripe going down the side. I mean, it was pretty much the same uniform.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good things to watch. We'll say this: you're welcome. A lot of those shows that we mentioned, you can go ahead and watch with your significant other. So as we get closer and closer to Valentine's Day, then you could go ahead and scoop up your hose and y'all can snuggle up and
remember, ladies, a month after Valentine's Day is March 14th.
Don't you be smiling, KG. Don't you be smiling.
I ain't gonna say what it's called, but I'll let you look it up.
We know what that is.
We know what that is.
But I say you saw the look on KG face. He lit up real quick. But KG, you had something that you wanted to comment on after your, disrespectful hand thing.
No. I was just making sure I was in frame, man. I was just saying hello. I don't have anything to comment on. I'm happy to be here, yo.
Are we happy to have you? You know what?
I've been hanging out in Baltimore for the last 2 weeks.
Say it again. Time for the percolate. We got that clip? I bet you was out there going ham.
No, I was at if you're not familiar with high school football in Baltimore, the annual game is City versus Poly.
Oh, you was there? You went to that game?
No, I wasn't at the game. I'm actually working at Baltimore City College School. I'm actually working at the school. So that's been pretty fun. I was out there the last 2 weeks hanging out and getting some work done, and
trying to figure out what they talking about. All the twos and dues.
No, see, the thing is about that area right there, I tell anybody, this may be a wrestling show, but this is a sports network. And I'll tell you this. If you're a fan of football history, what's on what used to be on East 33rd Street in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And from 1953 to 1984 was the largest outdoor insane asylum, which was Memorial Stadium.
Yes, indeed.
The Ravens played there, I think, the first 3 years of existence before they moved into M&T in 98, 99, something like that. And they actually revitalized that area where the stadium was, and now it's a field. a community center, and I believe senior homes. So
still tragic though. I remember that night watching on WJZ Channel 13, watching the trucks of them. Actually, I'm gonna say what I thought about back then, and bitch ass Baltimore Colts. All right, rolling out of Baltimore that night in the middle of the night, just like what the heck is happening? And then 33rd Street was, the Memorial Stadium was just empty. Like, man, that was just a place to go. Field of Dreams.
and
Everybody
you
who's
talk
everybody during that era played there. I mean, it was, man, outstanding.
You talk about something to watch. If you are a football fan, you love football history the way that I do, and you also have the ESPN app, the band that wouldn't die is the ESPN 30 for 30. Now, as a Redskin football team Commander fan, I get a little misty-eyed watching that because I don't know what it's like to have a team that I was born into, grew up and loved, to be snatched away from me like that. So I don't know what that feels like, but I felt Baltimore's pain. And growing up, I had to learn, as well as Redskin history, I had to learn Baltimore Colt history as well. That was something that was instilled in me by my older cousins, that you had to learn about this because this was a great franchise once upon a time. So,
yep. And welcome to the show, Anthony. He had a couple things. He was just sent a message in the chat. Feel free to interact. We love to see your messages, but he was mention that AAA is debuting on Fox Sports right now. So that's another, we can call it WWE subsidiary at this point, airing on a major network. And then when it comes down to Memorial Stadium, he said, are you guys surprised they didn't just revitalize Memorial Stadium and use it for the state championships for high school football in Maryland? I can tell you it stayed dormant for a while. And when I say dormant, it was just there and deteriorating. Then they turned it around and decided, okay, we're just going to demolish it. They left the front up, which is the most important part, that actually had the Memorial Stadium wording and everything else there. And then that just stood for years. So, it's just like a continued reminder that they dipped out. Then the Browns, coming in. Then we get the Ravens. And then, they swapping back and forth on who the heck is going where. So it's just a crazy thing. But anybody on the east side of Baltimore, they know that was some bitch assness on what the original Colts did. Now the Cleveland Browns, and then just some garbage. But out of that, we got Camden Yards came out of that. Also out of that, we got M&T Bank Stadium, which is across the street basically from Camden Yards. Out of that, we also finally got a casino, which they've been advocating for, thanks to the new stadium and the Ravens and all that stuff. So yeah, there's things on the other side that came out positive, but that was still, if you grew up in the 80s into early 90s, that was just it's just a stain on the area. You just drive by it. Kids today don't really care, they don't get it, but it's nothing like, man, saw Eddie Murray there. We talk about some OG Orioles, you know what I'm saying? The way they chanted for Eddie Guerrero is the way we're talking, 16,000 black people chanted for Eddie Murray. If you do your research, I'm not even going to grace your ears with the glory that was Eddie Murray to Baltimore. But the chants of Eddie, like, man, you would have thought he was at a WrestleMania when he got up to the plate. No disrespect, because Cal Ripken was right there getting his props. Billy Ripken, I mean, the whole Ripken family. Technically, I mean, it was a sight to behold, to be at. But from a African American perspective, when Eddie Murray got up there to the plate, Hall of Famer, man, something special for us. He was my Jackie Robinson, I guess, if you think about it that way. Just to see that was epic. But good times. Glad you were in Baltimore, by the way. Good to know that we're rubbing off on you, that you want to come down and hang out with the cool kids. Also, shout out to got that going St. Francis Academy and the Panthers. Just when we talking about Poly and State, nobody care about them. It's all about the Panthers. Great basketball program that's come up. Remember, one of the best products that's come in recent time was Angel Reese, graduate of St. Francis. Their football team is putting in that work. The school went from not having a field to we got a basketball gym and a football field. I'm like, God dang, they're trying to really get some money for everything else. But shout out to St. Francis and the Oblate Sisters of Providence. A lot of love for that school, and Sister Gabriel and Shift F7 for whacking my behind and my hand when I couldn't put my fingers on the keyboard properly. Never forget that. Oh, and we talking about Baltimore, can't forget about the other side of basketball, and Muggsy Bogues, also a great product of Be More. And surprisingly, and if you the school he went to, you're like, man, how did he come out of that? And Lynn Bias, because I know you always put out Lynn Bias out there, so there's a lot.
See, I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to ballers out of Maryland, and I'm not talking DC, I'm talking about Maryland. Everybody says Kevin Durant, and Anthony, to answer your question, Kevin Durant played at Montrose Christian up in Montgomery County. Everybody talks about great ballers that came out of Maryland, not DC. I'm talking just Maryland. Let's take DC off the table. They say Kevin Durant's the best baller to come out of DC. No, he is not. Because you had the Dunbar Poets that had 2 seasons where they lost 2 games and were national champs in 2 years. And their starting 5 all went to the NBA. That was Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Lewis, David Wingate, Reggie Williams, and I'm missing somebody off that team, but they had 5 guys that went to the NBA. And you got guys like Walt Williams, of course, Lynn Bias, who went to Northwestern. Walt Williams went to Crossland. Thurl Bailey went to Bladensburg. So did there's another cat that went to Bladensburg. I can't think of his name, but he played with the Suns. It's not Dumas, not Richard Dumas, but what? You never heard of David Wingate? What?
Hey, I put it. You know what you may need to do? This is kind of, even though it's a wrestling show, folks, bear with us. Pull our coat and follow along. But this may be something as a series. Great professional athletes to come out of the DMV, and then other major cities. That's something that maybe the network will want to tackle and have some special shows throughout the year just dedicated to some of the great athletes. And I think Coach Devon would definitely like to sink his teeth into that for Pretenders and Contenders. That'd be a great subtopic for his show, maybe. So keep your eyes tuned. You'd be surprised what you may discover as you learn from us. And then, hey, Sumo, don't want to forget about you. You got some, North Carolina that you want to talk about. Definitely, we could do something.
Y'all brought up Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues was a Hornet.
I know.
So, he was a Charlotte Hornet. So, yeah.
I guess you could call him the best little man in professional sports, along with Rey Mysterio.
Between him and what was the guy that
he was a space
one that played for the Hawks? Spud Webb.
Yep.
Yeah. Between them two, yeah.
Anthony say he 35, so he don't know the players I'm talking about. Let me see, 35. I got you by 9 years.
God dang going, Anthony. You're a young whippersnapper in this game.
I got you by 9 years. But see, now this is
boy still got Similac on his breath.
I'm 44. And
this is a good question right here.
My uncle told me stories of how good those guys were from Dunbar, because he balled with them in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. He balled with them. He balled with Lynn Bias. So he balled with all these guys. So he was like, yeah, this guy was great. This guy was great. And then, if you grew up in DC around a certain time, people say if and say who's the best player to come out of the DMV. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia. Okay. Again, everybody says it's Kevin Durant. It is not. It's a guy that goes by one name. And if you walked in any barbershop in DC and say, you know what? I think Rabbit was the greatest player to come out of DC. So many people are going to jump up and be like, you know what? You're right. You might even get your hair cut. You may be 7 down in a barbershop. You may be first after saying something like that. You next. And if you don't know who Rabbit is, that is the one, the only Elgin Baylor, who went to Spingarn. Probably the greatest basketball player to ever come out of DC, one of the greatest basketball players to ever play in the NBA. And it's like,
yeah, Brian Sweeney. Brian, we were just talking about some shows, and maybe a great idea to do some features on different the best players from different towns. So hey, hint hint, wink wink. You and Mr. Ice over there may want to go ahead and feature that as well if you like to on your show. So
wait. You're not gonna cut me out of this one now. You're not gonna cut me out of this one.
What? I'm just saying, I'm just spreading the world, for the whole network. Everybody can get in where they fit in. Just as long as they understand that the idea came from the flagship show. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm just out here. But Sumo, we'll let you jump into this one. Who would you say is the best pro wrestler to come from Baltimore or the DMV?
Well, I don't know of anybody that has come from per se. Now, I can only go by where they say they come from. In the introductions, from whatever, And let me see. Just off the top of my head, I'd have to say Batista, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he claimed DC. He claimed DC, so
he does. He's from there. He's legit.
Who else? You got Nyla Rose claiming DC.
Yeah. Probably one of the most consistent in the area, Mickey James, especially from
wait a minute, Mickey James claiming Virginia.
Well, DMV.
She's from Richmond.
Virginia.
Richmond's not DMV.
That's close enough.
No, it's not. It's not.
As much as she may be from Richmond, but as much as time as she spent
KG.
As much time as she spent in the DMV.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She wouldn't be. Do you really consider Richmond the DMV?
Not so much.
Everybody that I've talked to in this conversation doesn't consider Richmond.
I'm considering her
Richmond
DMV
is too low to
because
be DMC.
of how much time she spent in it. No, Richmond itself is not DMV. I'm not saying that.
No,
but she's been so close to the DMV area.
No, you're not
going to give her a credit pass.
No, because okay.
I'm not talking about where she was born. I'm talking about where she is.
No. You can't give people pass because if you give one person a pass, you got to give everybody a pass. Batista is from Batista say I'm from DC. What part of DC you from? I'm from Southeast. That's where Batista grew up at. He grew up in Southeast. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Batista grew up around Central Gardens.
And Batista was adopted, but yes, he's still DMV.
But he grew up around Central Gardens, so he has DMV all over him. People like Mickey James can't say.
Mickey James always claimed Richmond, Virginia.
You can't say, "Oh, I'm from DC." Well, what part of DC you from? Oh, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia is 135 miles south of DC. It takes 3 hours to get to Richmond with traffic.
I'm trying to give it a whole pass because she may have been from Richmond, but god dang, she was in the DMV a lot.
Hold on.
A lot.
The rules go, and I know if BJ hears this, he's probably rolling his eyes so hard they're gonna fall out his head. But the rule is, in order to be considered from the DMV, WMATA, Washington Metro Transit Authority. If you know what WMATA is, you know what a Metro bus is. Mm-hmm. You know what Metro Rail is. You know about paper fare cards. not smart trips, but paper fare cards that even had either had the zoo on it or the Capitol and the monument on it that was red, white, and blue. If you know about that and you grew up in that, you know what the DMV is. If WMATA touched your doorstep, if you walked out the door and had to go to work and you got on a bus in Maryland that was a T-18, a T-15, T-17, a A-12, a P-12, a D-12, a D-14, in DC, you caught the X bus. If you know about the 70, which went
All
up
right.
and
All
down
right,
Georgia
KG.
Avenue, they
All
made
right,
a play about it.
KG. She's out. She's out.
If
She
WMATA
lived in
touched
the
your
area
front
for a
door,
while.
Okay, so
you
let's
are
talk
a
about the
part
ones
of the
that
close
can
cousin.
claim. The
Close
ones that
cousin.
can't claim. Well, okay. Well, I was going to say your boy. Okay, so he said DMV. I was about to mess up and say your boy Rich Homie Swan, but he from Baltimore. So
He from
he can't
He
do
Baltimore.
it.
says Baltimore too. He said Baltimore and DMV.
No, he
No.
said DMV. Well,
No,
he did say Baltimore. So okay,
Yeah, he
that's
said
fine.
Baltimore, but Baltimore's
Now,
not part
for
of
the
DMV.
record,
Baltimore's part
for
of
the
Baltimore.
record, who just mentioned Rich Homie Swan? I told you eventually Sula will come around.
we talking about Maryland wrestling, so he's a
And
Maryland
that's
wrestler.
the
I'm
name
bringing
you
him
come
up.
up with. You
And I
are
will
the
follow that,
Bama
and I
of
will
the
follow
week.
that by saying
Week.
I will follow that by saying that his fruity ass was on TV tonight wrestling JJ Francis looking like a damn Cowboys cheerleader, Dallas Cowboys cheerleader with the tassels coming down his arm and shit.
Well, wait a minute. So now tassels coming down the arm is like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders? Because I can think of a certain man named was Macho that did the same thing.
For him it was tonight because he was looking real fruity.
Oh my God. Hey, Rich Swan, it takes a little bit. I mean, he's claiming Athena right now. It took us a couple years before he actually started claiming her. But this is how it began. He gave her some credit for something.
I thought he changed his
Next thing you know, Rich Homie Swan is going to be your boy. Hey, Anthony, you ain't got to bring up the dream like that, man. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that.
Velveteen Dream is from Baltimore. I thought he was from DC
going to
too.
bring up Velveteen Dream next, actually.
Yeah, he's DMV.
I thought he was from
still
DC.
Wrestling. And he's wrestling for MCW right now. So why not mention him? He's wrestling for MCW
if you're bringing up Rich Homie
so
Swan, I'm surprised that he's on the Indies using his theme song. That I'm like, how's that happening? But I guess since he was never found guilty, they gave him a concession, maybe, because normally that's not something that's allowed. He's not coming out as well. Some places he's built the dream, some places he's not.
Who wrote that song? Was that
I thought it was
Rebel?
possibly, or the CFOs, maybe. I think it may have been the CFOs at that point.
Because maybe the contract ended and he got the rights to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what part of Virginia Chris Harris is from, but he is from Virginia. Steve Blackman. Was Steve Blackman from Virginia?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
I thought
he ain't been out there in the community.
I thought he was from Pennsylvania, but
I don't think he claimed. He didn't claim Virginia.
He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he a little too far. We don't care about him. He in that Steelers country. Nobody like the Steelers in Baltimore. We ain't got time for that.
And who else? Who else is claiming?
And the big question is, Scott Tomlin going to the Ravens. Didn't I tell you about that? Was that Charles? Did I tell you about that? That was a conversation that Tomlin may go, if they lose. I told somebody that. We'll see. That's the best place you need to go. But then, side note, Cam Newton did make a good point. He would do pretty daggone good in Atlanta.
Yeah, he would.
I wouldn't want that.
Thank you for not going there. Appreciate you. Stay out of my division.
That's right. Hey, again,
unless you're coming to Carolina, I mean, we'll welcome you with open arms in Charlotte.
There you go. Again, shout out to Charlotte. Great job this year. Just want to put that out there. I was trying to root for you. I really was. But
Cam Newton signed a one-day deal to retire. So now he's a Panther for life.
That's right. And then, we'll go ahead and report it. Thanks to Jesse mentioning that Denver QB Bo Nix is out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. Oh man, yeah, that's true. Lash LaRue.
Lash LaRue.
That's
well, he claimed New Orleans, but was he actually from Maryland?
Yeah. The gimmick was from New Orleans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His gimmick was from New Orleans.
Yeah, and I think that's more that we haven't thought of. But
that's something we could probably Google something like that.
Yeah, we can dig into a lot of things.
We can dig into that if we wanted to.
Wrestling part, but you brought it up multiple times that Ring of Honor had a home and some roots in the DMV. So from the promotion standpoint,
Ring of Honor started in Baltimore.
Yeah. So from a promotion standpoint, we also carry a promotion as well. But we'll dig into from our perspective, the promotions and the wrestlers that come from different areas. We may do some shows like that as well, and spotlight some old, some new, and some current to keep that going. But where I was going before KG went off on a DMV tangent was sumo. I would like you to just tell us what your thoughts are for an historic event that happened this week earlier, and that was the debut of the AMC era of Total Nonstop Action, or TNA, airing on AMC this past Thursday, right? Wasn't it Thursday?
It was this past Thursday. Their show airs at 8:00 on AMC. They started out the show with AJ Styles coming to the ring. He opened the show, welcoming everybody to the AMC era and saying how everything was going to be bigger, faster, and better, and everything, and saying that the best was yet to come for everybody, and and things could be happening over the course of the night. Kind of giving, as to what was going on. So you had your first match after that, which was Order 4, and was in an 8-man tag team match with the Hardy, in a 6-man tag team match, I should say. Mustafa Ali and the Good Hands against the Hardys and Elijah. The Hardys and Elijah came out winning that. Then after the match was over, the Righteous came out, and after all the head games and whatnot they've been trying to play on the Hardys, finally jumped them, finally put hands on them, and made the announcement that they would be challenging for the tag team championships tonight at the Genesis pay-per-view that's going on right now. That started at 8:00. Well, they had the pre-show start at 7. So that's been going on since 7:00, and there's a lot of matches that have happened already, and it's still going. Then you had Santino Marella come out saying, how much he is going to enjoy the new era, and how all of the new things that are going to be happening, and all the new people that are going to be coming in. And he also went into how emotional he is and how things have gotten to his head with his daughter, Ariana Grace, turning her back on him for her boyfriend, Stax Lorenzo. And he says that the executives have given him help, to help him run TNA. And that help is coming from Daria Ray. Daria Ray being the former Sonya Deville, who as you know, has general manager experience. And so she comes out and she says, "Yes, I'm Daria Ray, and I am the Suit. And when the Suit talks, Shut up, I'm talking. Shut up when I'm talking. SUIT suit. Yeah.
We get it.
It's rich.
Well, let me ask you this, because they
She
had a lot of
tried it.
stuff. Because I don't want to take up and give away too much, but I have seen some opinions about that show
And
from
I'm gonna get
some
to those opinions. I'm gonna get to those
industry
opinions.
industry pundits. One of them of note was Eric Bischoff, who really, I guess, out of character is a weird way to put it, because normally he's objective, in his commentary or his depiction or his thoughts when it comes down to WWE, when it comes down to AEW and other stuff. But to me, I felt like he went in on the production value and some of the production decisions that happened on that first show. So I was curious, do you agree, or what's your vibe?
Well, let's go back to the very first match, because when I was watching the very first match with Order 4 and the Hardys and Elijah, I didn't see. I saw Order 4 come out. They got about halfway down the ramp, and then it went straight to the finish. There was no in between. There was no match. They showed none of the match. Now it could have been. I can't say that for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. But there was no rest of no middle of the match. It went from the entrance of Order 4 to the finish of the match, and then it skipped again because there was some celebration in there, and there was something that went on in between, and then they saw the Righteous already in the ring when some of the reels say they walked down the aisle and went into the ring. Right. So yeah, I mean it's been some issues. There's some issues already. It was some issues on this show where it skipped like that during one of the matches. So on the Genesis show. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with their production right now, but there's some issues going on.
Do you feel as though the WWE folks have kind of pulled away? Because I think to me it seemed like when WWE started infusing in, you also got some production folks that were fused in as well to make sure that WWE folks came out looking good. Because you kind of tell the difference in the way some of the camera angles were done. And then now that, hey, you got it, we got you there. Now they're off on their own and they're trying to figure it out.
I don't know. That could be. I mean, the deal is supposed to go for at least 2028, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, and they have pulled some people from TNA over to WWE. So I don't know. There are a lot of folk. There are a lot of TNA wrestlers going over to AEW as well. So because it just got announced on Wednesday night that the Rascals were going to be premiering at some point on AEW television. So I don't know. I mean, that could be the case if they pull some people. There's some things that I'm going to be talking about here in a second. As far as the card is concerned, that WWE wound up benefiting from.
Okay. Like what? And then
I'll get to it in a second. The next matchup was the Inspiration defending their Knockouts tag team titles against M and Heather by Elegance, and this was one of the things I was going to complain about, because this went too long. And I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about before the match, because before the match happened, they were in the ring and they were introducing the newest member of the Elegance brand, being Mr. Elegance. They had this tryout and this interview thing where they were looking for a guy who was going to be Mr. Elegance. And they found this guy. I mean, he could be. How can I describe him? imagine rookie Bo Dallas, but with what's his name? Kid, the guy Kid, what's his name? Kid,
Tyson Kidd?
the guy with the Pretty Deadly.
Kip,
The
Kip
one that's
something.
wrestling now by himself. The other one's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. His rookie Bo Dallas's head on Kid's body.
Bo Lee.
Okay.
Bo Lee.
So I mean, he's cut up. I mean, he looks kind of funny. He looks like he could be short because he's not tall. He's not much taller than most of the Elegance brand members, except for the tallest one, M by Elegance. She's taller than everybody, but
Right.
you know, he's right there he's right there with and then they had Perez Hilton there.
Mhm.
Who's heard of Perez Hilton since the 90s?
Well, believe it or not, Perez is still, hot and heavy. But that's mostly on, you have to be following Perez for that. Because I thought the same thing as I just happened to go through social media feed. He popped up like, what the heck? You still around?
Yeah, so I mean,
okay.
it was
I guess you got a social media
waste
thing,
of
but
time.
yeah.
It was a waste. It was a kind of a waste. It was something that should have been done on another show, maybe the next Thursday. This show should have been the catch up to anybody that was new coming into TNA.
Right.
This should have been a catch up show. But it wasn't. They just tried to go along with what they'd already been doing. Inspiration wound up losing the belt, so you got new knockouts tag team champions in the Elegance brand. Then you had Lei Lee, who is the knockouts singles champion, come out with Zaya Brookside. And they made the announcement that her challenger for the title, Danny, what is it? Danny Luna. Danny Luna was going through. They call it. She hadn't been medically cleared, but it actually came out that she's got visa issues.
Right.
So they're saying that because of her issue, because she has not been medically cleared, she's not going to be able to challenge for the Knockouts Championship. So they agreed to an open challenge. So whoever wanted to come out and get the title shot could get it. And who comes out but Zarya and Sol Ruka from NXT. And they come out and was like, yeah, we're both in the running for this, and you call yourself a warrior, but we have a warrior over here too. So I think Zarya would be the best person to take this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So Zarya signs the contract, and now she's going to be wrestling tonight for the Knockouts Championship. Then you have the System, who comes out, and they're talking about the match that they had tonight, Eddie Edwards versus Johnny Curtis for Johnny Curtis's retirement match. And, he's saying, Johnny's like, if you don't pull the trigger, Eddie, I will. So they're going back, it's friendly, they're going back and forth or whatever, because they're on the same faction. They're friends for 20 years. And so, they're not really going at each other, but, he's just saying, if you don't take me out, I will take you out. So,
right.
So that went all right. And then, okay, this is what pissed me off about this whole show. Okay, Frankie Kazarian, champion.
I thought you was going somewhere else, but okay.
Frankie Kazarian, the champion, versus Mike Santana for the World Championship. Now, earlier in the show, Frankie Kazarian was doing a promo in the back, and AJ Styles walks up to him, and Frankie's like, "What? We friends all this time, and You're just gonna walk up on me. You want me to hug it out, or shake your hand? Or you want me to give you a wet kiss or something? What you want? What do you want? What you want me to tell you? And so AJ just walks up on him, looks at him, looks at the belt, looks back at him, and says, "Okay, one day," and walks off. So now you got this match this main event, and it was an okay match. It's pretty much the same match that they've been running the past 3 times that they've wrestled already. Nothing really new. Like you said, some production issues that were going on that kind of messed up the flow of this match. And then Santana wins the match, which I knew that was going to happen because I mean, he shouldn't have lost the belt in the first place, but they set it up so that they can have this night and have him win the match on television. So then he's in the ring, he's celebrating. They cut to black. The show is over. Then it comes out that Santina Marella and Daria Ray comes out, and they announce that it was in the contract that regardless of who won, the loser would get an automatic rematch at Genesis, which is cool.
Do you know where her milk cup is? No.
Then Daria's like, "Well, we're gonna change this up. We're gonna change this up. So we're gonna have Nick Nemeth, who is the holder of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet trophy, their version of Money in the Bank, as special guest referee." Okay, I get that. But why have that after the show goes off?
Exactly.
Why do you do that before the show goes off? That makes no sense to do that. You're not even selling the fact that they're gonna do it on here. They didn't even mention that the winner was gonna get a title shot at Genesis during the match.
To sell the show.
So I mean, it's ridiculous what they did. I mean, there was so many mistakes made in this show.
Well, let me ask you this.
And then you got folks that are part of the show, that are part of this company, who are going like, "Well, those that aren't in the know shouldn't speak on it." It's my opinion. My money. I'm paying to get AMC on my cable. I'm paying to watch Genesis. Why shouldn't I have an opinion? Regardless of whether I'm in the business or not.
Welcome to social media.
You know what I'm saying? So, for them to say that, I mean, for you to say something like that makes you seem guilty to me. But that's just me.
Well, I know you didn't mention it, but, they did have Dixie Carter and Bully Ray come out.
Yeah, I mean, and she got booed out the building.
But here's my first question to you, and then the other one is a bigger gripe that I have. The first question: should they have had Jeff Jarrett come out?
Yeah, they could have. I don't think so.
Why you saying no, KG?
It wouldn't really made a difference.
I think from a fan perspective, I'm cool with Dixie coming out, but without Jeff, obviously, we wouldn't be where we are.
The only reason they brought out Dixie was because they were in Texas.
Yeah, but still, if you're gonna bring out somebody,
they were just trying to find people that they could get access to that had some link to the past.
Jeff Jarrett would have been there.
Yeah, but Jeff Jarrett is still signed to AEW.
They're not calling me. They're not calling me. It don't matter. He's not really AEW.
He's signed to AEW.
He's not at that. he's not contractually at that level to AEW.
How do you know?
He's not at the Sting level.
No, wait.
He said that if the call would have come, he could have had a conversation and been able to go to a WWE event or other events that have happened in the past. Sting is locked down. Like Tony's like, well, Sting didn't ask me, for permission, but Jeff Jarrett, he can pretty much go where he wants to go.
Wait,
I don't know. I mean,
why would you want?
That was on his podcast, so that's where I heard that.
Yeah, it sounds good, but he can't say that and not actually get it and actually not have done it. If he'd have done it,
that's what he said on his podcast because he was griping that nobody was calling him. It was because it was a Conrad. It was like, hey Jeff, how do you feel about not being on the show? I forgot what show it was, but it was one of those tribute shows and stuff like that. As somebody that paved the way in the industry, he's like, they didn't call me. I'd have been there, but they didn't call me. And then they went to that whole soliloquy on that. But KG, go ahead.
Why in the world would you want Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett in the same place at the same time? Because
controversy creates cash for TV.
Oh, I get that, but that's something. That's like saying you want. That's like saying you want
Bischoff and Russo in the same place today, or Jeff
or
Russo.
I'll give you that because Russo got a long list of people. That's like Jim Cornette and Russo being in the same place at the same time and sitting down with Vince McMahon for dinner for three. Why?
If the check is right, you think Cornette wouldn't be there? He would love the opportunity to eviscerate Russo.
Hey, they had dinner for three had Cornette and Bischoff.
But hold on. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Back down memory lane. Dixie Carter, her parents bought TNA. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Right. Panda. Right.
So her parents bought TNA, she wound up running it. And while she wound up running it, what was it? Jeff Jarrett's ex-wife and Kurt Angle were in a relationship. She sent Jeff Jarrett home. Jerry Jarrett started TNA. Jeff Jarrett was running it and absolutely wonderful. Call a spade a spade. Dixie Carter luck ran out and she couldn't run TNA the way it was being ran. She ran it into the ground.
Well,
why would I want to be in the
some of the
same
wrestlers
room?
too? So that didn't help.
You say what?
She was messing around with some of the wrestlers too, but that didn't help.
I guess we throwing allegedly in there. Throw the allegedly.
Not really allegedly.
They know allegedly.
It's been validated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's been at least three names that she messed around with. That's out there.
Okay. So her and Jeff Jarrett in the same room after you took the company that my father built and was running like a fine old machine. You decided to come in, change everything, start messing with the boys in the back, is what you guys are telling me. But on the business side, you brung in Hulk Hogan to run and gave him creative control, and it injected poison into that business, and it went down. Why do I want to be in the same room with her?
But
that's real.
On
heat.
the back end, what came out of that? They turned right around and went back to the archetype that Jeff Jarrett had started with the six-sided ring came back.
Yeah.
Ultimate X came back. So everything that was embedded Impact or TNA Impact, and then Total Nonstop Action, and then TNA, that is still the lifeblood of what Jarrett had infused in. He should have been there.
That right there.
The crowd would have popped.
That's legitimate.
18 times.
That's not kayfabe. That's legitimate heat. I don't know how he feels about it personally. I don't know. But that right there, that's an assault charge waiting to happen.
No,
she sent this man home from his own company without pay.
The assault charge should be on Kurt Angle.
So what you telling me?
But then again, keep it to it. Edge and Christian, should Edge be not? I'm sorry, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Should Matt have not beat the hell out of Jeff?
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
Because Jeff, you sitting there watching Edge with Lita. You can't say you don't know and didn't tell your brother.
But okay, so what you're telling me is this is what you're telling me. Dixie Carter's parents are going to buy the Sideline Junkies podcast network. Dixie Carter's going to run the network now, and she's going to send you home. No. She's going to send you home.
One of y'all getting some. I'm passing on that.
She's going to send you home for whatever reason without pay. She's going to put you out of the company that you had a hand in starting. And then she's going to tell Sumo, if you don't do what I say, you can go home with him. So Sumo, being the great guy that he is, like, fuck it, I'm going to go home. I'll go start my own shit. And then 20 years later down the line, she gonna say, they're going to say, well, we're going to do a reunion and we're going to have you, Sumo, and Dixie Carter in a room together. Are you going to be in a room with her after she did that to you? After she did that to you and Sumo? Are you going to be in a room later?
Am I in a room for her, or am I in a room for the people that are there because of me?
Hold on.
One thing Jeff Jarrett is a consummate professional. If he needs to be there, and he's been in rooms with people he don't like.
Plenty of times. But this is different.
But he came in, he did the job. He ain't got to hang around. He ain't got to shuck and jive. He ain't got to hug like Bully Ray. You know, you have Dixie, you have Bully, and then Jeff Jarrett music hits. He comes out, he gets the pop. Bam. There you go. He can say a couple words, and then he's done. He can leave. But the crowd, in my opinion, for getting on network television at this level, you have to acknowledge Jeff Jarrett. That was my first issue. The second issue is you got to this level, and we didn't show any flashback or retros of the past.
They did.
It wasn't like WWE.
They showed montages of different parts of. They showed a montage of the X Division. They showed a montage for the Knockouts. They showed a montage for the World Champions. They didn't go into like Ultimate X or any, like the matches or whatever. But they did the divisions.
Did you see Elix Skipper? I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see Elix Skipper.
You know what I'm saying?
But I did see. But there were some. Let's put it this way: there were some, in those montages. There were people that WWE probably didn't. They probably had to get permission from WWE to put in those montages.
But why wouldn't?
And I'm talking about people that did not, people that have never worked for WWE, or people that are currently working for AEW.
Oh, no, that, yeah, I can see that, yeah. But Elix Skipper, him running across the Ultimate X cage to do the Hurricane Rana, that is still arguably one of the best moments in TNA history. Period.
Wrestling history. What you talking about?
Yeah, wrestling history.
Yeah.
Wrestling history, period.
Now, I'm going to say this. If you had to choose, it's so many names that you can choose to come. If you want to talk about the past of TNA, so many names you can choose. If Gail Kim wasn't there, it's unofficial. If ODB wasn't there, it's unofficial.
Yep.
Awesome Kong, Raka Khan.
Why did we spend money?
They even said by name. They even mentioned AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe.
You had no choice on that.
In a match by name, they mentioned them.
But Joe owns his name.
Those are two AEW guys right there for you.
But Joe owns his name. Christopher Daniels owns his name. And then AJ Styles WWE. AJ Styles is the house. Because
was Jay Lethal there?
They pre-booked that. Nope, no Jay Lethal.
It's not official.
No Black Machismo. That's what I'm saying. If I was going,
but wait a minute. When it comes to Jay Lethal is more Ring of Honor than he is TNA.
But
he is, okay. And I agree with that. I agree because no, KG, his the stuff he did.
His legacy comes more from Ring of Honor than it does from.
That's what I said. I got no argument. TNA. I got no argument. You're right.
His TNA is truthfully, and I'm not happy with saying it, but it's the truth, is one segment. His legacy is that Ric Flair segment.
That's where you're wrong.
No, I mean, no, he's done a lot. But when you say Jay Lethal, the first thing somebody's going to say 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is going to be, man, remember when he was over there promo with Flair?
And you know what?
Nah,
if they say that,
it's more Black Machismo. Let's talk about Black Machismo before Flair.
Do a poll and ask people who's Black Machismo and see if they can say Jay Lethal. But but the thing who does the best Ric Flair impersonation? Man, that was that.
It's always Jay Lethal. But you got to realize before that moment, he was already a star with Black Machismo, number one, because
I agree.
Singles competition as well as tag team competition, Lethal Consequence, him and Consequences Creed. That's what I know Jay Lethal for.
That's why I said it's unfortunate that the thing that he's going to be most recognized for from that company is that segment. Because in social media, it is. But in social media, you see that more than anything else he's ever done. And that's a fact. I've crossed that so many times. I finally said, you know what? I keep laughing at it because I stop and watch it, which means I'm giving people a lot of views. Let me just go ahead and pin it so that way I could just watch it from this particular thing over and over just because. Literally, it just pops up. Watching Wrestling Shorts, there it is again. It's fortunate, it's unfortunate. He's going to live in perpetuity as arguably the best Ric Flair impersonation, especially since he did it in front of Flair and got Flair to pop.
That would be part of it, but he will always be the longest reigning Ring of Honor world champion, the only one to hold the television champion and the world title at the same time in Ring of Honor. One of the few Grand Slam champions in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
So he's back in Ring of Honor, and he has a faction. He has his own faction. He's got like in a managerial position in his own faction in Ring of Honor.
I gotta ask you gentlemen a question, because we talking about Jay Lethal, we talking about that Ric Flair spot. What happened between them two earlier this week?
Who?
Jay Lethal and Ric Flair. Because Ric Flair was like he was very disappointed in Jay Lethal.
Oh, I don't know.
And I was like, is this kayfabe or what? Because I thought Jay Lethal was training him to come back.
They've got Flair's got other issues. He's giving refunds for cameos. Don't know what
he did give that guy a refund?
Yeah.
He should have. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he should have.
Too much negative publicity. And at this point, I love Nate. Need to stop drinking. It's time. Tap that out, dog.
I already said he need to go somewhere and sit down somewhere.
Get some more.
It's not drinking. He has an inner ear problem.
And drinking ain't helping.
Yeah, he need to tap that out, dog. Like, I need you to get a new vice. Otherwise, I'd tell you to go ahead and, get some Fort Mose, but you just stop. You just need to stop. I need you to get high on Jesus at this point. But Anthony, as we start winding things down here on the show, asked, who do we think had the most impact in TNA, Triple X or America's Most Wanted?
Are we choosing out of those two?
I'm assuming out of those two, yeah.
Okay.
It would have to be America's Most Wanted.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because you got a world champion out of America's Most Wanted. You got some titles coming out of Triple X, but the Triple X, but the original Triple X was great. When it started moving around and it got to Kevin Nash and started going, it kind of lost its luster. But America's Most Wanted couldn't be touched. They were Teflon at one time. So, yeah, I'd have to give that to America's Most Wanted.
Do have to give a honorable mention to Beer Money. We've talked about them many times in the past, but great tag team.
Well, I mean, America's Most Wanted and Beer Money got something in common.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you something.
James Storm. We in both of them.
This is and yeah, Anthony, John Forte died like 3 days ago. Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the Fugees, most people just glossed over it. But yeah, very, very sad news. I will say that. But when it comes to tag teams and TNA, I always said the tag teams and TNA, if WWE took that blueprint and not just throw people together, but you got Robert Roode and James Storm that made Beer Money, then you got both of them in WWE, and you never put Beer Money back together. The Motor City Machine Guns came. Like then you had factions like Aces and Eights.
They never really signed James Storm though.
I thought he came over.
They were going to.
He had a couple test matches and stuff like that.
They had some test matches with him, and they were trying to bring him in, but they never could get the contract together. Because remember what I told you, AJ Styles' music was supposed to be for James Storm.
Mm-hmm. And also at that time, Robert Roode was injured. So when they was testing Storm out, he was coming in as an individual instead of the tag, which was sad because he just got injured during his glorious run. And when they were trying to bring him in, because Roode was trying for a while to get him in, but he got him, in quote unquote. It's just, But that's also WWE because the Lucha Brothers, should be together by now. But then they turned it around and got Penta teaming with what's his name, Dragon Lee. Like, what the hell is this? Or Rey Mysterio, which was even worse. That's the wrong Rey.
Felix was supposed to get together at the last AAA show,
right?
But Penta was hurt.
So
they wound up bringing in Rey Mysterio for that match.
Yeah, and then Rey and Penta tagged, and then that's the wrong Rey. Still great, straight great action, but that's the wrong brother. What are you gonna say, KG? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying you got a chance, and I'll say it again. TNA had the best women's division at one point in time, and I mean this is not like 3, 6, 9 month period. No, I'm talking about they had the best women's division from like 2008 to like 2011, 2012. They had the best women's division. They had tag division during that same time. Like it used to be. I worked nights at the time, and I would spend Saturdays, no DVR. I wouldn't DVR anything. I would catch the replays on Saturday nights. Like get up Saturday morning, watch TNA on replay on Saturday morning, and then watch Raw and SmackDown on replay in Spanish, and then watch Ring of Honor late at night while I'm cleaning the house.
You could have got a TiVo, right?
New Japan in there.
You could have just got you a TiVo. That would have saved you some time.
No, I had a DVR, but I refused to use the DVR. I'm
messing with you. We've been mentioning old stuff, and when's the last time you heard somebody say TiVo?
When Granddad Freeman was like, if you the book's not out yet, but if you have the TiVo, you can go ahead and rewind it on the TiVo and remember to buy this book. But I lied to you not. I consumed wrestling like I had to have it in my veins, man. And it was so good because everything was good at the time. You had WWE was doing that thing. Ring of Honor. I think this is when I first I think Samoa Joe had just came over to TNA because he was the Nation of Violence at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what's going to happen with Ring of Honor? And I knew about CM Punk from years before. So I'm like, all right. I was in the Jay Lethal and everything. And New Japan and TNA had a thing going on where the Dudleys was able to bring the tag championships to TNA. It was like so much. It was good. And I'm like, okay, WWE is crushing everybody. Won't you take the blueprint when everybody else is on top and you were trying to keep up? Take the blueprint of what they use, how they built the tag division, how they built the women's division, and use it to your advantage. And I'm a big WWE guy. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big WWE guy, but I'm not biased and I'm not stupid. When WWE had the best women's division. And the women were carrying, we talked about it right here on this very show, the flagship of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. We talked about it. The women were closing out not only Raws and SmackDowns, they were main eventing those, they were main eventing the pay-per-views, and they were some of the highest rated pay-per-views of the last 10 years. You had lightning in a bottle, and you took the cap off and let it go. You could have did that with the tag division, but instead, you just start throwing people together trying to make tag teams instead of letting it happen, develop naturally. I'm just saying. Matter of fact, we were talking a year ago. We had a whole conversation of how it was going to work when Jade came to WWE. You had Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. What is that? Black Girl Magic. That's your faction right there to run roughshod over everybody. Because guess what? You got to put a faction together. You got a couple of factions you can put together organically. This can happen. You can actually put the Rag Squad back together if you want to, but this can happen. Let's do this. What do? They pissed the bed again.
Well, back in the day, Vince didn't want to give credit to something that was good. We saw that with the cruiserweights coming from WCW. Did not want to put that over, even though you had Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, Kidman. She basically had the cruiserweight division in the WWE, but he didn't want to do. How long did it take before 205 Live hit? And at that point, most of them weren't there anymore. So do you think he would want to, go ahead and give them credit for the turn from the Divas division to the women's division? And he definitely, with the exception of maybe 5 women, could not take anybody over to TNA. And I love Trish to death. She can't. Gail Kim would eat her alive. Got that going. We know Awesome Kong would just eat her alive. You know what I'm saying? If you brought ODB over, they wouldn't know how to man. They couldn't merchandise ODB, and they wouldn't put her over because she doesn't look like the cookie cutter. So he couldn't give them credit
Awesome
to
Kong.
do that.
They had Awesome Kong, and then she turned around and got pregnant.
Yeah, and never came back.
Yeah,
but that was her decision.
You said, "Oh, she got pregnant, but she don't come back." I was like, "She ain't coming back."
She had some complications. She had complications, medical, that prevented her from coming back. She still potentially could come back somewhere. She said the itch is, starting to get at her again. Her kid's older, so that could be something she thinks about. But it was medical issues after the delivery that prevented her from coming back right away. And then she just made that decision. Hey, let me just go ahead and focus. It wasn't by choice. She never got a swan song or anything like that. Unfortunately, it was by force. Otherwise, she'd have been back. That was from what she said.
Pull my coat and follow me on this one.
Yeah.
If you took Prime China, I'm talking Intercontinental winning China, I'm talking women's champion China, I'm talking China that competed for the WWF title China, and put her in TNA.
Oh man, they'd be on TV back then
with ODB, with Gail Kim, with Awesome Kong,
with Madison Rain. All of them.
And Velvet Sky. Like, do you realize what could have happened? What could have been?
They would have outshined the men. That division would have outshined everything that was going on other than Ultimate X. Because that was just a spectacle.
I don't think none of the boys in the back would even have a problem with that, because you know what that means? That means you're putting butts in the seat. That means that gate is surpassing the numbers that it's supposed to pass, and everybody's going to eat. I don't think nobody would have a problem with that.
You would think that, but one thing we know about professional wrestling as we wrap up is there's some sexism, some racism, some ageism, some body shaming, and some bitch assness, nepotism, and all that other stuff. So it all exists. Back then, it was a lot more intense because, truthfully, if we take Vince out of it, I'd say there was maybe 7 to 10 performers that were running a business in positions to make decisions. That was running a business. And WCW, TNA, WWE, the big three. ECW is separate because that was Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman just gave him a dream, a wing and a prayer, and a promise, and they was putting their life on the line. So you can't count that. They was running through brick walls and everything else for, you know, the belief of what they were doing. But the big three, it's about maybe 10 people that you could give or take a name and be like, yep, they were booking it and saying this, and yep, this person went over, this person didn't go over. They protecting their spot. They holding people down and lifting people up, you know, whatever. If you take Vince out of it. Now, it's less people, but that don't mean the decisions are, you know, still the most intelligent. You know, Tony Khan is still self-booking for the most part with a little bit of input, but, you know, he's got to advise and do what Vince did to stay alive. WWE is under question because it's basically TKO and Endeavor dictating, you know, really where the money is going and how they're getting it. And then they're kind of still beholden to Netflix on what they got to do. And then, you know, on the SmackDown side, they still got to, you know, navigate that. So they're kind of beholden to the network. TNA is just emerging on the major scale. ROH is Tony Khan still. And then everybody else is just walking through.
Well,
but it's still a better place.
If you put it like that, if Vince would have kept his nose out of NXT during COVID, imagine what we could have had.
NXT would have been the brand and WWE would have fell off. He couldn't have that.
Just what we could have had. I mean, he ruined the call up. Probably one of the best takeovers was the night that Keith Lee won both. He had both championships, and he was going to come up. That was a Sunday night. So Monday, he was going to show up on Raw. He was going to vacate the title, show up on Raw. He shows up on Raw. The beard's gone, and he's no longer himself. Music's changed. Like, who is this? Like, this cat's white hot.
We on the clock for Obafemi. We still praying for this one because, man, he had a good exit. Probably one of the best exits they've done in a long time.
Vince ain't here to mess it up.
That don't mean it won't be. That don't mean it won't be.
Nah. Think about this. And Sumo, you tell me if I'm wrong.
That don't mean it won't
be. You bring up Keith Lee, and Vince ruins his whole entire aura, his whole entire character, his whole entire build. And he tosses this man back at least 25 years. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, no. He jacked him up real good.
So bad that he went over to AEW. I mean,
you put him in the ring before he even goes over. Before he even gets on WWE, is going to on the main roster. He goes to WWE and beats Randy Orton clean. Then he goes into the Royal Rumble. And he's one-on-one in the Royal Rumble in the middle of the ring with Brock Lesnar. And Lesnar is selling for him.
And the place is exploding. But I will say this.
And there was a video that I watched earlier today. So there's a dude, I don't know who the dude was, but it just popped up on my YouTube algorithm. Whatever happened to Keith Lee? He did 30 minutes on everything we just talked about. The whole thing from him leaving Ring of Honor, going into NXT, doing this thing in NXT, going into the main roster, and just disappearing.
Oh, he really disappeared. I don't even see him on Mia Yim's posts anymore.
That's his wife.
I know. I see Big E on Mia Yim's, Chris Yim's posts more than I seen Keith Lee. She be out at dinner.
And imagine that tag team. Big
I've
E
seen-
and Keith Lee. Oh my God! See,
Hey, look, you
see,
ain't got
what a lot of people don't.
Just give it
What
to
a
me.
lot of people don't remember. What a lot of people probably don't remember is back before he got to NXT, he was in Ring of Honor, and he had a tag team with Shane Taylor
Mhm.
called Limitless. And those boys was the fat boy version of of Doom and shit. All they was missing was
Yeah.
the mask. They were handling motherfuckers up all over the independents, them two together.
But we do have hope,
I
fellas.
hated when they broke up, man. I was like, man, this is the tag team right here.
I hear that. We do have hope. And the hope comes from Trick Williams. Because I was wondering and I was scared. But Trick's entrance and his persona have carried over pretty doggone good for his call-up.
All I know is
Without Booker T.
He need to do something with them lemon pepper steppers.
Well, no, I'm cool with that.
He rated Prince's Closet for them.
I'm glad they
He
changed.
came out with the white 3-inch heels, boy. I was like, wait a minute now. Hold on there, Sweet Willie.
I think he checked somebody because that debut on SmackDown when they gave him the mic and he started talking, I'm like, who wrote this? This is some bullshit. This person has no flavor. But then I think they fixed that because the last couple promos and stuff that he's done, okay, that sounds better. But yeah, that first promo, I'm like, oh, damn. Take the mic away from him. Please take the mic away.
See,
so now we're better. We're better now.
When you got something good, especially in NXT, when you get called up to the main roster, we said it before. I've said it. Don has said it. Sumo has said it. Don't change what made them hot. If they're already over, don't change it. Continue it. But instead, what do? You switch everything around. Now, Obafemi, I guarantee you this. When Obafemi comes to the main roster, he not going to do the bop no more. He going to come out and
don't you put that on him, Ricky Bobby.
I'm telling you, he going to come out in a whole unitard with shorts.
No.
And he going to look like the Big Show.
Well, yep, I was about to say it.
With no accent. He going to switch up like Kofi. He going to switch up like Kofi Kingston.
Nah.
He going to have his finishing move now is going to be the final cut.
Oh, no.
But actually, I'm not concerned with Obafemi as much as I am with Powerhouse Hobbs.
No.
Because now that Powerhouse Hobbs has left AEW, and they're talking about he's coming over to WWE, and he's going to be on the main roster.
I think we're good on that, Sumo. Because I can't say, as much as I like Will Hobbs, the character I never saw. Powerhouse.
Well, there was really no character. It was just him.
With the exception of one part where he tried to reinvent himself and he was doing a religious thing, the Book of Hobbs.
Yeah.
That was starting to get over, and I'm like, okay, I can see a character out of this. But outside of the entrance, that was pretty damn good. When he came out, I did not see Powerhouse Hobbs. I saw a big-ass black dude that could pretty much beat everybody, but I didn't see who Powerhouse Hobbs is. So if Will Hobbs goes to the machine and comes out with an opportunity to, have a character that can sell T-shirts, that people can understand, like, okay, I get it. So I think this may be good for him on his development, but he needs to go to Raw.
I'm going to go ahead and burst your bubble.
Send that man to SmackDown.
No, I'm going to burst the bubble.
You give him a mic and he goes up against Jacob Fatu, it's a wrap. He's done. He'll get buried.
I'm going to burst your bubble. You talk about people that can sell shirts and merchandise. And I love bringing up, see, when you do this, all you're doing is throwing me alley-oops. Remember Elias? Hello, I'm Elias. And he did the whole thing. That whole thing, Walk with Elias. That whole thing sold merchandise. What did they do? Screwed the pooch and shit the bed, baby.
Well, he's doing the same thing in TNA. Exact same gimmick. He's doing the TNA, but now he's just Elijah.
And the bad part about it, when they had him cut the beard off and he became Ezekiel. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about bad booking. And it's a track record of bad booking. Every time somebody's hot, and they can be hot and they can be white hot. Bad booking every time. It can't always be bad booking the reason why somebody doesn't get over. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a luchador thing. It's a thing. But it can't be the same thing. You can't say that you're the best in the business and you're the best company and you screw up this much, this many times, and it's every time. Somebody, they're screwing up. They're screwing over somebody. They're fucking it up. You can't do that. It can't be that every time. I'm sorry.
Obviously, KG has some feelings about this.
I do, because I'm sitting here, and the more you talk, the more I remember somebody else that they messed up. And we got all these people coming in. And once I say this, I'm getting off the soapbox because I'm done, because I'm looking at the time. I got a post that I was scrolling through, and they was like, oh, Jade Cargill need to get more training because she hurt Mia Yim and B-Fab on the holiday tour. She gave B-Fab a concussion and she hurt Mia Yim's shoulder. She don't need to be wrestling. Y'all was so pressed for Jade Cargill to come over. Now, this is fans, mind you. You were so pressed for her to come over. You were so pressed for her to go to the main roster. You were so pressed for her to dominate and do this. But now, all of a sudden, she's not safe. The same thing you said about Nia Jax 2-3 years ago, about her not working safe. But all the ladies in the back said Nia Jax is probably one of the safest workers you could work with. Does she have mishaps? We all have mishaps. But hers are more hers are more exemplified.
Shoot, they should be praying for a daggone Nia Jax mishap. Like, can you break my nose?
Without Nia Jax, again, and I had a whole argument years ago with some guy on Instagram, and I was like, you know nothing about wrestling. Oh, Nia Jax, I said, if it wasn't for Nia Jax breaking Becky's nose, there would be no man. There would be no big time Bex. There would be no run. Because they used it to an advantage. And they ran with it. That was great marketing. She invented the man. Oh no, she didn't do that. That was going to happen regardless. And I just told him point blank. With all due respect,
it wouldn't have went over like it did.
All due respect, shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking.
It would not have gone over the same way without her breaking her nose like that. It would not.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up, KG. I'm glad you brought that up because you just said two prophetic things. You talked about how people were saying Jade Cargill is this, and that. And you talked about how Becky and Nia, that combination of that situation made the man. AEW, Jade Cargill, 800-time day champion, whatever the heck she was, and all this blah, 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 blah. If she would have had the injury and cut her eye there, in AEW, she wouldn't have known what the heck to do. If that eye injury that she had on SmackDown would have happened in AEW, it would have been a panic, and they would have stopped the match, and that would have been it, and that would have been it. How she has grown was exemplified in that moment, because when she got cut, the blood is gushing. What did she do? She took over with her character and sold it and made it believable to the point that this past week, she was in an interview session with two of Hollywood elite, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and they asked her about that moment and how was she able to continue, talk about how tough wrestlers are and sports entertainers, etc. Because when you have situations like that, you are moving and still in character to A-list actors, Oscar winners, how she was able to stay in character and become more believable. Now she's champion and she's walking around playing the proper role that she should have been taught in AEW. She's wrestling as a big person. She's doing really what Omos, we're trying to get him to that point, to where you're just dominating in size and your body without having to do so many moves. You're playing a big man role. You're doing things intentionally. You're taking your time with the crowd. You're milking the situation, and then you do your finish, and then you're showboating at the end. But then you walk out with the swagger up to somebody else and say, "Hey, I know you here, and you're supposed to be this big thing, Jordan Grace. I'm that bitch, and I'm out." Can't tell me that Jade Cargill doesn't know what she's doing now, thanks to WWE.
Well, let me ask you this: Jade Cargill has been champion.
I saw that too.
78 days now.
And has only had
no
three
title
defenses?
defense. At 3? As we said, she had 3.
3, yeah.
And she had any?
Yeah, she's had 3.
Who?
Well, she was at the run back with Zack Ryder's wife.
Chelsea Green?
Chelsea Green, Mia Yim, and one other person I can't remember. She's had 3. I can't think of the third, but she's had 3.
Well, hold on. Now I put it in Google. It says, this is what Google says. As of January 2026, Jade Cargill has 0 official title defenses for her new WWE Women's Championship reign, despite holding the belt for over 75 days since defeating Tiffany Stratton in November, leading to criticism and speculation about creative plans and the roster's depth.
Those are not title defenses.
Mia Yim was challenging for the championship.
That was to get to a title shot.
Was that they did that qualifier?
That was a challenge match for a title shot.
I thought that was for BFAB was the qualifier.
First
now, Mia Yim was the championship match. BFAB was the qualifier.
They say she hasn't defended it on TV. Now, has she defended it at a house show? Was it defended on a holiday tour?
It could have been that,
but in house shows, but she has not defended it on television.
That's still a title defense.
But remember,
I know.
They don't claim title defenses on television.
They claim it when they want to.
When they want to, right? But they're saying it's out there.
Time out.
You know that's true, KG, because Ric Flair is way more than a 16-time champion.
I know. I need a full-time out
that's
here.
not WWE.
It don't matter, but some of it we talk about TV, not TV.
That was my question. Like, when do we start not counting title changes or title matches and house shows, not titles? Title defenses. Like, I thought that was always a thing.
That's always been a thing where it's subjective to when they want to do it or not.
Yeah, but right now the WWE is saying she hasn't defended that title yet.
But yet she's defended the title.
She breaking the rules because you got to defend it once every 30 days.
Which was going to bring me to KG.
Mr. Brock
Lesnar. Yeah, exactly.
What was that? I think
Brock Lesnar ain't defending the belt. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Don't act like Brock was the only one that got the smoke. Hogan got the smoke too.
That was a different era.
Hogan the smoke too.
That was different era.
Well, that was a different era right there. Back then, the title was defended mainly at big shows.
Yeah, but what I always tell you guys, since we've been doing this, I always told you, I said one of the biggest things growing up, everybody was a big Hogan fan. You loved Hogan. But when you watch WWF Superstars, Hogan never came out. You might get Hogan on an interview here and there, but Hogan didn't come out to defend the title.
That's the way it was back
we had
then.
to pay. Yeah. Not knowing that as a kid, I get that. But we had to pay $39.99 to see him defend the title.
You didn't see Flair defending that title in Florence at a TV studio taping?
Bullshit.
Not often.
I saw
very
Flair
rarely. Very rarely.
I saw Flair defend the title more often against Sting and everybody else than I seen as a kid.
In WCW,
I saw Flair defend
yes.
the title more against Sting.
In WCW, yes.
I saw Hogan defend it against anybody.
In the NWA, that didn't happen that often. I'm telling you. You're talking about WCW where it had to be on television so they could make make money. I'm talking about in the NWA. I'm talking about NWA 605 on Saturday night. You didn't see that.
That's what really. I'm talking. That's why I became a Sting fan, because I saw him and Ric Flair at least. Now this is when wrestling came on every night, so I'm watching reruns. But I saw him and Sting duke it out every night, and then on the weekends when you got the new show.
It wasn't always for the title, though.
Not always for the title, but it was more. I saw it more often. I'm not saying it was always for the title, but I saw it more often with the title or for the title than I did with Hogan and anybody.
They were touching each other every week. Yeah, they were talking junk, going back and forth every week.
Like,
so,
I mean, I learned how to do the Stinger Splash and the Scorpion Deathlock before I knew my times table, baby. Like, man.
Here's how we're going to button up the rest of this show, fellas. And then we're going to jump out of here. If we remove the OG time constraints in reference to the amount of time in between title defenses, Roman Reigns would be the longest WWE title holding champion of all time. Take a look at it. Compare the notes from Pedro and everybody else.
Hey,
Roman
defended his title. Like we talked about it. We did the math. We did
more
the math.
Than the rest of them in a short amount of time.
Roman Reigns only defended that title every 45 days,
which is more recent or more consistent than Hogan and everybody else at the tip of the top.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to end it. I see KG mad about that, but it is the truth. If you put in that parameter of control.
Actually, New Japan is 90. New Japan is 90 days.
Yeah. My tribal chief is the longest reigning WWE champion of all time. Take that. Diversify your bonds.
Give me a rebuttal. Ooh, you dirty.
You got to hold on to that until next week. Diversify your bonds, kids.
You need you walk, bitches.